Hello everybody and welcome to your second Java tutorial. Today we're going to be covering variables and primitive data types. So a variable is basically a small phrase or a letter that can hold a lot of data in it at once. So this data can be like numbers, letters, even words. And there are 8 primitive data types, and each one can only hold a certain type of data. So let's get started. Create a new Java project and call it variables. Make sure you're using Java SE 1.7 and push finish. Then open up variables and click on the source folder. Click on the class, create a new Java class, and we're going to call this class variables and put it inside a package called variables and then finish it. So now we have this basic. So now let's start off with int. Int it's just like how we learned in math. It's an integer. However, in Java, an int can hold a value of 0 and there's certain ranges. So you can make like int x equals 7. However, when you do int y equals and you do two spaces and you just do that sort of just overwrite a ton of numbers and then push enter, you get an error because it's out of the int range. And for example, if we put a negative on it, you still get an error. It's out of the range. So when you have stuff like this, you can make it a long. This is too big to even be in long range, apparently. Oh yeah, here, now it's gonna work. Yeah, apparently long isn't that big, but and you have to always end the long like this, or it's gonna read it as an int. In fact, for a lot of projects, Eclipse asks you for a serializable UID, and if you notice when it automatically puts it, it'll be like it'll say 1L and it'll call it long. Now, what if you want a decimal? So then you would use a double. So double D equals, and then we can call it 6.9. And now it creates a variable called D, because integers and longs and a few other data, they can't hold decimals. And there's another decimal one called a float, F equals, and then we can call this 6.9 again. But now we have to put in a lowercase f at the end, or it won't be, or otherwise it'll read it as a double, not a float, and you'll get an error. And basically, now there are a few other data. For example, there's byte. So byte b equals, we can call it 72, for example. Sorry about that. You don't need to put a B for it. And now you have a byte called B named 72. And bytes are good for when you need to store memory, like actually like store it on the computer. But however, bytes have a really small range. They go from around negative 128 to negative 127, around there. And then there are shorts. Like shorts are a little bit better, but see, even this is out of the range. Oh yeah, we have to put an S. No. Let's cast it. Oh yeah, you have to cast it to short. So you're gonna have to cast it, and now you don't get an error. And last and not least, we have char. So char, you have to put single brackets and you have to put single quotations. And in a char, it can only hold one character. So for example, H. But if you put like more than one, you get an error. Or you can even put like 6. Or a semicolon. You can put any character. After that, last but not least, the last primitive data type is Boolean. And then a Boolean either equals true or it equals false. It seems we're getting in here. Oh, because we already have a few, so B2. So it either equals true or it equals false. And you can use this to store it, like if they push the button or not and stuff like that. And now in a char you can put one character only. But what if you wanted to put like a word or even a sentence? Then there's a class called string, and you can use this. So you can make like string s equals, and for this you put quotation marks, not just the single quote, and you can call it like hello world. And then you can print any of these. So for example, you can do size out. Oh yes, the problem is that we forgot the main method. So let's just make it here really quick. Public static void main string args. And then let's just yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm still pretty new at this. So now we can just do size out. And then you can print stuff like X, for example, and then cancel. Oh, we also have something named X. So now we can print X, for example. That's we have that in here. Oh, yes, why am I making here? So now you can print, it'll print out the value. Or you can make it print, for example, if you wanted to print the string. It prints out hello world. So yeah, and you can also change the values. So for example, you can make if you print out x, and then you change the value, so x equals blah, and we can do it again like that, and then type out x. First it gives you 7, and then it gives you 67,245. So like this, it gives you all the numbers that you need. And now, what if you wanted to add one number to another? So let's just delete this. So you have what if you had an integer named x, and it's equal to that, and an integer named y, and it's equal to all of this. Well, what if you wanted to combine these? So you can do like x equals x plus y. And now you've got a full set of now you've got some integer. Or there's a shortcut to writing it. You can just do x plus equals y, and it adds x to y and stores it in x. How there's also minus equals and times equals and uh, and there's minus equals, times equals, there's divided by equals. They're all of them. And you can do like x plus plus, and that adds 1 to x. So x is equal to x plus 1, or x minus minus. However, you can do x divided by. And basically, when you do this, you can like add and subtract all of this stuff. And you can also use exponents. So you can do x equals x. And then if you do that and then put y, it actually does x to the power of y. No, sorry, the x times y. Oh yeah, we didn't print. Then you can do x. And now it prints out x times y. So now before we finish, I would just like to show you another trick with strings. So pretend you have string x equals hello, and then you put a space after hello, and then string y equals world, and then you have an exclamation mark. Then you can actually, if you print it, then you can do x plus y, and it prints hello world. And you can do stuff like this. This is called string concentration, and in this you can combine strings so that they make a certain value. And now let's try and go for 25 likes on this video, and remember to subscribe. Stay tuned for the next one. Bye.